So we're finally getting to the drums, and here goes the condition of everything. The front brake shoe, not the worst I've seen. Definitely getting thin. Plenty of brake dust inside of here. And of course, here goes the condition of the drums. So let me go ahead and change all of this stuff out. Alright, so I'm just about done on the rear left side. As you can see, everything looks a million times better. Nice and cleaned. Greased up the spots that have to be greased. All new hardware, new shoes, and here was our new drum right next to our old beat up one. Alright, so I'm all done on the rear left side, and I've adjusted the shoes, but this is not the final adjustment. Whenever I'm doing drum brakes, I like to do my base adjustment after I'm done installing all the new parts, take the car out for a test drive, and after my test drive, come back and readjust the brake shoes. So let's go on to the rear right side. Let me go ahead and knock that out real fast. Alright, so I'm out test driving the Honda after completing the rear brake shoes and drums, and guys, there is a problem. And I noticed this when I was installing the drums. As I'm rotating the drums to try to fit the brake shoes, I could feel like a tighter spot, and as you keep rotating it gets loose again, then as it comes back around there's another tight spot. If you work on cars, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I thought to myself, this is going to be an issue. That tells me either the bolt holes for the center of the drum either are not centered, or the drum itself is not round. It's like oval shaped. You get what I'm saying? And what that causes is when you push the brakes, you feel a pulsing coming through the brake pedal, and 100% I could feel it. And I know it's a drum because not only did I experience that problem when I was, or that issue when I was rotating the drum, and I could feel it by hand, but also this problem wasn't here before I touched the rear drums. You get what I'm saying? When I had just did the front brakes, that problem was non-existent. The brakes felt perfectly smooth. Another way I could tell it is tied directly to the rear drums is if while the car is moving, you pull up the parking brake, which is directly tied to the rear brake shoes and the drums. As I'm holding, I'm gonna do it right now, guys, okay? So I'm not going that fast. I'm not trying to do anything dangerous, but I'm gonna pull the parking brake. You can see the lights on the dash, and guys, I could actually feel the pulsing coming through the handle of the parking brake. If that isn't evidence enough, I don't know what is. So if you work on cars, you know that the quality control of parts lately has been on a crazy decline. It is hard to get good quality parts. And yeah, I got these parts from Rock Auto, guys, but I'm not one to just buy the cheapest parts on Rock Auto, okay? And it has nothing to do with Rock Auto, because I've gotten drums from all of these auto parts stores, O'Reilly's, Advanced Auto, AutoZone, it doesn't matter. I've seen it all, and I've gotten warped and out of round rotors, drums from all of these auto parts stores. It's just the quality control of crap nowadays has just gone down the drain. Alright guys, so we are in the home stretch of working on the Honda. I was gonna say Honda CRX, but Honda Fit, okay? So I'm still waiting for the new rear drums to show up, so we can't do anything with that until we get our parts. And then there's 4 things we have to do, but technically just 2. Let me explain. So you guys saw me drain and refill the transmission. We did that once. I want to drive the car around for a little while and do it one more time, okay? But that's kind of crossed off the list because we already changed the fluid once. Me doing it a second time is just a bonus. And then the next thing is I need to drain and refill the cooling system, because you guys saw me do the other fluids on the car. But the thing is, I also want to change the thermostat. So I'm kind of bundling the thermostat and the coolant change in as one. You get what I'm saying? Okay, so there's that. Number 3 would be obviously the thermostat. Number 4 is the PCV valve, and that's where I'm going to start today. So looking at the engine, I believe it's this hose coming off the intake manifold. If we follow it down, it goes into the block just down there. I know it looks like I have plenty of space on camera, but guys, it's a pretty tight spot. Does not look fun, but we'll go ahead and get her done. That's where we're going to start with. After the PCV, we're going to move on to the thermostat, which I believe is located right here. Alright, so I got that hose off that comes from the manifold down to the PCV, and now we could get a better look at it down there. it. So I did have to remove some of these bolts, like this one for the ground, and then this one right here, another 10 mil that holds this plastic housing in place just to get it to move down a little bit further. And guys, those bolts were on there so freaking tight and just like rusted away that I'm just gonna go ahead and replace them. They're so rusty that my 10 mil socket barely wants to fit on them. You get what I'm saying? So I got brand new bolts here. I'm gonna go ahead and replace those while we're at it. Another thing is, apparently I lied about how much work I have to do, because I'm just sitting here and then I see the throttle body staring me in the face. And then I remembered, oh yeah, I bought a throttle body gasket so I could take the throttle body off and clean it. So let's add that onto the list. We'll probably just go ahead and get that knocked out today. And once again, my new tools are coming in clutch. So here I'm using my mid-length sockets and my wobble extension that I just showed off in my recent tool haul video. So you guys can go ahead and check out that video if you want. And just another example of just having the right tool at the right time. So I got the old PCV removed, and does this thing have a washer on it? That looks like a crush washer. Am I wrong? Let me see if that comes off. If you shake it, it's still, you could hear the like the ball and inside or whatever the heck it is still moves, but it barely moves. Big difference compared to the new one. So that was definitely a crush washer. As you can see, I cleaned it up. It looks like a brand new part now, and put it on the new PCV. So the PCV is all buttoned up. Done with that. Moved on to the throttle body. So I had to remove the entire air intake box, which sucked. But we're just at the point where we could disconnect the two coolant lines. As you can see, I'm using my brand new hose clamp plier, and I also have my other one right here pinching off the coolant hoses. I'm just trying to minimize the amount of mess here. I'm not trying to save coolant because, like I said, all this stuff is getting drained out the system anyway. I just don't want to make a mess. So now I could go ahead and take these hoses off of the throttle body, and we'll unbolt it. Remember, I have a brand new gasket for it as well. All right, let's see if we could get these hoses off of here. This one I already broke the bond that it had, so it started dripping. Trying to not squeeze the hose too much. I don't want to damage it. Now I know what you're saying. Well, if you're gonna replace the coolant, why didn't you drain out the system first instead of having to worry about this thing leaking? To that I say, it's a good point. Alright, so that's the first coolant hose, and as you can see, we're not losing or dripping coolant everywhere. Where's the second one? I'm already confused. Oh, it's right here. Okay. Just trying to twist the hose to make it break that bond, and there you have it. Now we can slowly twist it and walk it off. And there we go. Now the throttle body itself has 4 10 mils, and I would have went ahead and broke them free. Now I see it all the time on YouTube when people are cleaning out throttle bodies. They'll remove the air intake box, and then they spray like carb cleaner or brake parts cleaner in here, and come in here with a rag and say, oh, there, it's clean. It's not clean, guys. Oh, I just dropped one of the throttle body bolts, and it did not sound like it hit the ground. You know what? That's what I get for talking crap on YouTube. Let me go look for this bolt. All right, I have no idea where that bolt went. I'm gonna have to look for it later. For right now, let's continue with this. It seems like it landed on the heat shield down there. So that's gonna be fun, trying to find that thing. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. You see the front of the throttle body? Oh, not too bad, right? But then you turn it around, and yeah, that looks pretty dirty. So this is what I'm talking about by, you know, the people who spray carb cleaner in the front, wipe it down with a rag, open up the plate and say, oh, it's good enough. It's not good enough, guys. That's not right. I always clean throttle bodies by fully removing them off of the car. And we could get this out of here, this flattened out gasket. We have a brand new one. So I figured, as far as that bolt, I'm going to leave this one out, the one that's super easy to get to. And that way I could actually go underneath the vehicle and even start it up if I have to. And then once I find that bolt, I'll put it back right here in this corner, since it's really easy to get to. So here goes our brand new gasket. Looks like it can go on either way. Oh, that's not even round. I thought the gasket was like a round seal, but it's not. It's kind of like egg shaped. And here goes our throttle body, fully clean. That's the front side, and boom, there goes the back side. That's how I clean throttle bodies, and I think that's how they should be cleaned. So this would go on like this because the connector is in the back. Alright, that's good enough for now. Without the fourth bolt, I don't want to fully torque them down. It's good enough. The gasket is sealed. And we can go ahead and connect our coolant lines down here. I remember when I had my first car, which was a 90 CRX, I actually disconnected the coolant lines that go into the throttle body, and I looped them together because I thought, you know, cold air makes more power, you know, dumb kid stuff. And I thought, like, well, why are we sending hot coolant into the throttle body if we want cold air to get in? You know what I mean? You just buy your first cold air intake. So yeah, I looped it around, and that proved to be all kinds of problems. Like once winter came, because the throttle body actually freezes over and creates like starting issues and idling issues. And that's the whole point of the coolant going into the throttle body. So I just think it's funny looking back at the things, and I'm sure we all got stories like that where you look back at things you did when you were a teenager, you got your first car, and now as an adult you look back at it and say, like, yeah, that was a stupid thing I did. Ah, the good old times. Alright, now the clamps are on. I could remove my hose pinch off pliers. Alright, looks good. Let me put all the air box and put all this stuff back together. As you can see, everything is all buttoned up. What I'm going to do now is get in the car with my scanner and do a idle relearn. It's not always necessary, but sometimes cars can act funny if you clean the throttle body and you don't perform this task. It'll cause idling issues. Alright, so we got throttle learning right here. Let's see. Need to clean the throttle body at the same time. Reset, okay. Just reset TP value, yes. Stop the engine, which the engine is not running right now. Okay, shift to neutral. Set the parking brake. And hit OK. TP learning value has been cleared. Clean the throttle body, refer to service manual. And that's already been done. Okay, and there you have it. It's been reset. So what I'm going to do now is let's put it back into park. Take off the parking brake. Turn the key off. Just wait like 2 or 3 seconds. Turn the key back on and start her up. I expect it to have a high idle because it's going to be a cold start right now. It's idling like 1200 RPM. Feels really smooth. Alright, so yeah, the idle relearn was a success. I don't want to get the engine too hot because, like I said, I have to do the antifreeze and the thermostat right now. Alright, so I got the car up on ramps and I have the coolant draining out of the radiator right now. And yeah, it looks like coming from up top is going to be the best option for getting to the thermostat. So while I got the antifreeze draining out, I decided to go looking for that throttle body bolt. I took off some of the plastic retainers for the under shield here, and look what I found. Bingo. Don't always get that lucky. Alright, I'll put the retainer clips back on and put this bolt back on the throttle body. Alright, so this is taking a lot longer than I thought, only because I'm actually making a separate video on changing the thermostat on this car, because I couldn't really find anything on YouTube, at least nothing concrete. So that's why I'm like, you know what, let me just make a video on it, and I'm doing basically a DIY for that. So as you can see, I got the old thermostat out with the thermostat housing. Both of these got replaced, and I even bought a brand new gasket for it as well. And if we come over to the car, you could see I pretty much got both of them installed already. You can see the housing right there. I just have to torque down the 2 bolts for it, and we'll fill it up with brand new antifreeze. Okay, so all the work I did today was a success. I just finished bleeding the cooling system, and we're ready to take this off and put the cap back on it. We're getting nice hot air out the dash, and there's no leaks at all, no drips on the ground or anything. New thermostat housing looks great. Okay guys, it's a few days later. As you can see, we got the new drums. They just came in about 5 minutes ago. Let's pull the Honda Fit in and cross our fingers. So I'm on the rear right side. This is the drums that we're having issues with. So you can see right now it's pretty free floating, right? And still the same. And right there, it's like really tight, guys. And then if I push past it, right there, and look, now it's back to free again. And if we keep going, right there goes a tight spot again, and then back to loose. So you can see there is a spot on the drum where it just hits the brake shoe, like it's not round, and we already have problems. So I opened up the first box, and I noticed that the packaging was already cut open. I'm like, okay, whatever, that just means it got returned by someone else. But then I'm like, this drum looks different from the other brand we just took off of the car. I mean, like drastically different, right? I go to fit it, and guys, this drum does not fit. It's way too thick. It's actually hitting the backing plate before it could completely seat on the hub on this side. This is not the correct drum. So I open up the second box, and this one looks more like the one we just took off. So let's go ahead. So I got to check the part numbers. Either Rock Auto sent me the wrong part, or, which is more likely, someone returned the wrong part to Rock Auto. They buy a cheap version of something, and then they buy the expensive version. They'll swap the packages around or swap the items around, and then return the expensive one with the cheap item in the box, or the wrong item in the box, and return it back to Rock Auto. You know what I mean? So let me put this drum on, and this one looks like it's gonna fit. So let's see if it works. All right, so the drum is on. I got the lug nuts on just to apply even pressure like I did on the other drum, and of course I had to readjust the shoes inside of there. But guys, this is a million times better. You guys saw how tight it would get in some places. It was really difficult to turn it by hand, and now I'm just so pissed that we only got one good drum from Rock Auto. This is the problem with dealing with Rock Auto. You know, if you got a bad part from like O'Reilly's or AutoZone, yeah, it's inconvenience, but at least it'll get resolved instantly. You know what I mean? This type of stuff, yeah, not so much. I gotta send it back. And I knew something was wrong the second I opened this and I saw this packaging already cut open. Yeah, as you could just tell right off the bat, that drum looks nothing like the one that belongs on this car. All we could do is take it out for a test drive now and see if at least that one drum being replaced, the one that was the worst out of the two, see if it made a difference. So I'm out for my test drive, and guys, the problem is not gone. It's still here. This is ridiculous. I swear to God, it is. I'm like borderline ready to just put the original drums back on and just confirm that I'm not crazy. You get what I'm saying? I think that's what I'm gonna have to do next. So as you can see on the rear left side, I put the original drum back on. It's the driver's side. I want to do one at a time and kind of rule out what's bad and what's not. You get what I'm saying? So the new AC Delco drum that we just got in today is still on the right side. On the left side, we're going with the OEM one that was already installed. Let's go out for another test drive. All right, guys, next test drive, and boom, I told you. Yup, the pedal is smooth stopping. No vibrations, no wobbles, nothing. So, conclusion. The new AC Delco drum that we just got in today, the correct one for the car, is perfect. It is round. No issues at all on the rear right side. And on the rear left side, as you guys just saw, I had to put the original drum back on. And out of the two, one of them had like a real deep groove cut into the inside of the drum. And any grooves that's on the drum, it's just going to transfer over to the brake shoe, you know, because they kind of get married together. So I chose the better looking drum. Of course, the outside's all rusty and scaly, but the inside where the shoe actually rides on the drum is nice and smooth. So yeah, the car actually stops really good now, and all that crap is gone. Guys, I was starting to doubt and question myself. You get what I'm saying? Like, am I crazy? Is it not the drums? Is it something else? And I knew I wasn't crazy, but for a second there, I was doubting myself. And now the pedal feels perfectly smooth, no issues at all. We are done with this problem, guys. So the new drum staying on this side, and then this side. Let's go ahead and pull that one off again. This is what I was talking about. You guys see the grooves? Oh, there's actually two grooves. And this is the one I chose to not use because of the grooves on the inside. Whereas the one I did put back on the car, it's perfectly smooth on the inside. There's no grooves on it at all. I just got my hammer here, and I'm just gonna go around the edge. You see the big chunks of rust? And just try to break these chunks of rust off. Guys, we gotta be careful with this because I could see myself actually damaging this drum and making it out of round if I start beating on it like crazy. So I'm gonna be pretty gentle on it, and then after this we'll deal with the evapor rust. Alright, so I knocked off the big chunks of rust, being pretty gentle with the drum. As you can see, I put it inside of this bucket and it just kind of fits perfectly. I have some evapor rust here. It's not a lot. I don't think it's gonna submerge the entire drum, so I may have to flip it at some point. I may just turn it around the other way since you know, the rusty part is on the outside primarily. Maybe we get lucky. Oh, it is almost enough to completely submerge the drum. So I just flipped the drum upside down, and you can see like 98% of it is submerged in the fluid. I'm just gonna let this sit here till tomorrow, and we'll see what it looks like. And like I said, depending on how it looks, I may end up sandblasting it. Alright guys, so I set this up just to demonstrate how far out of whack this drum is. This is the one we took off of the rear right side, and I got it obviously reverse sitting here on the wheel bearing, and I got my socket of my impact tool just as a point of reference so that when I spin it around you guys can see how much this drum is moving. So I put this tool on the end of my drill. It's just like a giant eraser wheel, and I'm going to use this to turn the drum. And you guys can have a look at how far out of whack this thing is. Keep an eye on the socket to the drum. See that? That's what was causing the pulsing sensation in the brake pedal. Is that crazy? So I know I kept saying it's like oval shaped, but it's not really that. It's more like the drum itself is warped. That's a better way to describe it. But that's pretty wild to actually see it, you know, with your own eyes like this. Alright, so the more I thought about it, it just made no sense to let the evapor rust try to do all the hard work. So I took the drum and I put it in a sandblaster, and I hit the important parts. As you can see, I try to knock off as much rust from the outer lip, but guys, that's not that important. And I even hit the inside. You can see it looks way different from how it used to look. So that's the important areas done, and now we can let the evapor rust do the rest of the work. And I think this is going to be good enough for this drum. Remember, we're not trying to restore it to be 100% and look like a show car. We're just trying to get it to look better than that piece of crap that it looked like before. So it's actually been 4 days since this drum has been sitting in the evapor rust. So let's go ahead and take it out, see what it looks like. I was occasionally coming on here and just kind of shaking the bucket around, just kind of get things moving. So let's get some light on it, see what it looks like. Yeah, looks a lot better. This real heavy rust right here on the ledge. Of course, you're not going to get rid of that. Inside looks real good. Let me go ahead and rinse this off with some clean water, and we'll let it dry so we can get a real good look at it. So I left the drum sitting outside in the sun just to give it plenty of time to dry, and it has. So here's the inside. You can see it looks very nice. It has come a long way from how it looked when we took it off the car. All of this cleaned up very nicely, minus the heavy chunks of rust sitting right here on the slip, and it's what I showed you guys before. And that's not gonna make a single difference, guys. So I did think about painting this thing, but does it really matter at the end of the day? I don't think so. It might just be wasted paint. So I don't think painting this is gonna make a difference. And I lied, guys. I just couldn't resist. It kept looking at me, and I had this paint already just sitting on the shelf, and it's the exact color that I would paint a drum. So unfortunately, we're leaving the racing red on the shelf. This just gives it a more of a stock, like OEM finish, you know, like if you ordered coated road or coated drums, like the first set that we ordered from Rock Auto, the ones that are warped. So this is nothing more than so that if someone looks past the wheels, you know, in the little hose to look at the drum, you just see something that's silver instead of something that's rotted away, ugly brown, you know what I mean? All right, guys, look at this. Drum is all cured. Come on. That's a factory coated rotor. This is the one I just painted. Come on, that looks pretty good, you gotta admit. For trying to restore a old drum that just rotted away, I think it came out really good. All right, so I'm all done with the Honda. I got the drum on, as you can see. Look how good that looks. I readjusted the brake shoes so they fit perfectly now. And pretty much the same exact thing for the new AC Delco drum. I even took it off and painted it. Look at that. I know I said I wouldn't, but I just couldn't help myself, guys. You can't even tell the difference. This looks just like it came from factory, painted like that. All right, so this side has been adjusted as well, the shoes. Everything fits perfectly. Let's put the wheels on it, take it out for a test drive. All right, so I'm in the Honda and the brakes feel absolutely fantastic. Guys, the brakes in this car feel better than my car. I mean, the pedal, it just feels like I'm in a brand new car. You get what I'm saying? So I'm really happy with how the brakes turned out, and I was persistent to fix that issue, and sure enough, it paid off. Anyway, I think that's just about it with the car, guys. We have one final thing to do, which is change the transmission fluid one more time, but you guys saw me do that already, so I'm not going to bore you guys with all of that. One final thing, guys. These came with the car. Nice WeatherTech floor mats. They're just a little dirty. I'm gonna take them out. I'm gonna clean them real fast. Sure, this isn't the correct cleaner for this, but all I got is Windex, guys. Windex is a pretty good solvent, and it just went in my eyes. It's so windy today. I didn't sign up for this. So they're not super dirty, just little things from them being used. We'll see how well they fit. I've never used a set of WeatherTech floor mats because they're just too damn expensive. And the one time that I did look into buying some of these for my my Nissan Versa, the Note, WeatherTech does not make their floor mats for my car. You would think, right? I know some of you are yelling at the screen, don't spray Windex on that material, it'll dry out the plastic or the rubber. I know, guys, it's just a floor mat. You know what? I might have something. Let me check my shelf, see if I have something that's better suited for this. Alright, so I found this just sitting on my shelf, so maybe this is a better option. And I'm sure to make it look nice and spiffy instead of like dried out plastic. Man, it is crazy windy today. Ah, to my eye again. So here they are, all cleaned up. Look pretty nice. Let's go ahead and put them in the car. See how well they fit. All right, the passenger side first. Oh man, that fits like a glove. I guess that's the whole purpose of their floor mats, right? To fit like a glove. For this side, make sure you go underneath the gas pedal. And it has two like locking tabs right here. See how that one kind of lined up? And so did this one. So we could just go ahead and turn it and lock them in. There you go. That fits really nice. So the floor mats look great. There's just one final touch, and it's this thing, a air freshener. I found it in our house, brand new in the package. It's called Midnight Storm. That doesn't really matter. The only thing girls care about is that it's purple. That'll be fine. So we'll go ahead and pop this on the vent right here. I got it set to the minimum mark, and I could already smell it. So that's it, the final touch, and this car is now ready to go with my daughter. You want to drive the truck, or you want to drive your car?
Oh my god.
You like it? I know it looks like my car, but let's
That
go
was a
sit.
mere
Let's go sit.
Oh my god. Sheer coincidence that it's the exact same looking car.
It's better than my car. So.
Oh, it's so cute. I can't see anything, guys. Okay, there we go. Oh, smokes. Oh my goodness. This is so cool.